Hi and welcome to another tutorial. In today's lesson we'll learn all about the if statement using Microsoft Excel. So anyways guys, let's jump in. So what is the ifs function? The ifs function checks whether one or more conditions are met and returns a value that corresponds to the first true condition. Ifs can take the place of multiple nested if statements and is much easier to read with multiple conditions. So in the following example, we're going to have a look at how to do nested if statements as well as using the ifs function, and then finally how to do the whole thing using Vlookup. So here is our example. We are going to use the IFS function. So the first way that we are going to have a look at this is just using simple nested ifs. So if we need to figure out a grade score, so for example, if a student gets 90%, then they get A. To do nested if statements, what you need to do is you need to do the logical test, which is going to be, is the score greater than a certain value? And then your two options, you have true and false. If it's true, we are going to return back the string. So that is in the quotations, that's going to be the A. And if it's false, then we start another if statement. And so you can see the pattern that is happening here. It's basically the exact same pattern, but every time you go to the false section of this statement, you will then write the next if statement until you get to the final value, and then all you have to do is do whatever it's not. So in this case, E was the final number, so the value if false is going to be F. So now you can see that that actually takes a fair bit of typing. It's quite time consuming, but it does work, and you can drag it down and everything is fine. So now we are going to use a different function, so the ifs function. Now in this case, you only test if the value is true. So we kind of eliminate the false testing. So again, it's going to appear like the first nested if statement, except now you do not have to actually put the next if statement in there. So we are now asking, if the value is greater than or equal to 90, then they will get A. But if the value is greater than or equal to 80, then they get B, and so on and so forth. When you get to the final one, then what we will do for a true statement is just ask, is that value less than the lowest result in there, which will be around about 49? And then if that's true, then they will get the F grade. So there is still quite a bit of writing to do in here, but it is a much more logical approach to multiple if statements, because sometimes they can get messy. Now the most efficient way of doing this is with a Vlookup. The Vlookup just needs the lookup value. You need the table array. Make sure that you lock it by pressing Command or Control F4, and then the column index is going to be 2.